Click play and call it work.
Welcome, Wargamers. Josh here this week to bring you the Sit and Talk. You'll notice I have sitting next to me, Lee. We're going to try something a little bit different, and Lee and I are doing the Sit and Talk together because I find whenever I do the Sit and Talks, if I do it with somebody else, personally, I'm entertained.
Yeah, they're pretty good, actually. I enjoy watching them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Should be some fun. This is the first time we're going to be filming something like this together, so pardon the fact that I'm going to be running the mic, so I might not be putting it towards Lee when I need to.
Well, I'll get over it. I'm sure everyone else will. So, we're good.
So remember, for next week, it's going to be Quirk doing the Sit and Talk. So any questions you have, leave them for him in this video here. Just make sure you put Quirk, Beverly, however you want to address him, so he knows that you are asking him a question. If you want to reply back to something that Lee and I have said, open up a discussion, whatever it might be, feel free to email us. I probably won't reply back in the comments for this video, obviously. Josh at MiniWarGaming, Lee at MiniWarGaming, and it's miniwargaming.com, so pretty easy. Let's jump right into the questions. Lee's got a whole whack of them, so this might be a whole lot of Lee talking, so if you notice me glancing down, I've got the papers in front of me and my drink. So starting off, Jackrox, dear Lee, what is it like to be the coolest guy in the office, and how do we get you in more battle reports? GG, buddy. So Lee, what he's trying to ask is, what is it like to be me?
Harry. No, thank you. That's pretty cool to start off with that one, but yeah. As for the battle report thing, that's up to Matthew, really. I'm doing the whole Blood Bowl thing because I basically gave him the idea for it. And that's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
And I helped to bully him into it.
Yeah, we did. But, yeah, I'm really, really busy down here in my basement. So, whenever I get a chance to do a battle report, I jump on it. So,
yeah, we try to be somewhat efficient in who's going to do what, and on a basic level. I mean, if you've got Lee in a battle report, not only is Lee not painting anything, it's also, you're still paying an employee to be in a battle report. So when it makes sense, we definitely do, but it's not something that's going to happen on the norm, especially with you doing the lion's share of work on the studio armies right now.
Yeah. And the custom stuff for the narrative campaigns and stuff. I get maybe 24-hour deadline on a couple of models, and I have to convert them up and get them done. So, but I do enjoy playing in battle reports, and I do try to poke my nose in as much as I can for your viewing pleasure.
Very cool. Next one. Hello, Mac. At Lee. Nice to meet you, sir. Now that we finally get a chance to bother you, can we get the origin story of Lee and how you ended up locked in the MiniWarGaming basement? I know you're a bit camera shy, but would love to see some quick tip style videos of some of your conversions and builds. Any chance we can get a show of Lee tips sometime in the future? Keep up the good work.
Thanks. The whole thing with me getting a show, I know Chris has been pushing for it, and I'm okay to do it, but again, it's up to Matthew, because I really don't have time. I mean, if I had one day to do some easy, quick tips with conversions, I'd totally do it. 100% for sure. But, yeah, it's hard to try to crowbar that in. I mean, you guys have no idea how busy I am. It's insane, really.
Well, the same. I mean, working with the cameras isn't overly difficult if you do it every single day, and that's the majority of your job. But even, I mean, to play on camera and run the camera at the same time is a lot more difficult and distracting what a lot of people think. So doing a conversion quick tip style show, while running the camera yourself is a little bit more time consuming. And yeah, you're totally right. It seems like it's something, oh, well, Lee can take 10 minutes and do it. That's not how it works. So that's as far as the quick tip style videos. I think, everybody thinks it would be a cool idea. Right now, it's manpower.
Then again, if Matthew actually came down and said, okay, I've been getting a lot of requests for you to do like conversion quick tips. Yeah, I know, because he's been pushing it. And he told me to do it once a week, I'd do it, for sure.
Right. Like I said, it comes down to the fact that, I mean, we've got so many cameras for content producers, and even, like, you'd think that with 4 studios, we would never need more than 4 cameras, but then Chris's camera, if Quirk's doing, like, one of his open vaults, and then somebody's filming, a sit and talk, there's a lot more resources involved than you guys might realize. It'd be cool. I think Matt comes down, he likes filming them himself.
Yeah. But then there's a whole editing and voiceover, and it will take me a day to make maybe a 15-minute long video. And I'm not sure he'd like me doing that for a 15-minute video, a whole day of work. So it's a different thing with Chris and his quick tips, because that's all he does. Really. I mean, it's not all he does. It sounded horrible. Sorry, Chris. No, I mean, that's his primary job. He records himself painting, then he edits himself. And, yeah, it's about time and equipment, really. So, it'd be fun to do, though.
Here's what I'm going to tell you, Lee. You need to talk. You talk from up here. You need to talk from down here. Use your gut to talk.
I don't use my gut to talk. I can't help it.
That was a lifeguard, so yeah, I'm gonna start poking you with the microphone more and more. So why don't we go into the origin story of Lee, starting with your conception?
No. Well, I wasn't there for that, so I wasn't.
True.
Yeah, but the whole story of me moving to Canada, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
So basically, what happens is, it was February last year. I decided to come in for Warzone Apothis because I thought it was really cool, and sent him a mail and scheduled a week, and then 2 weeks before I came over, they advertised they wanted a painter. And
now, just to clarify for everybody too, it's not just a regular come over. You hail from the land of ice and snow
and volcanoes, lots of volcanoes.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, we will. And and I'm really not comfortable with going out of my comfort zone, like booking things or even like going to a bank or whatever. It's not easy for me. I'll be honest with you, it's not easy. So I had to travel here alone. So that was a big challenge. But yeah, I mean, they advertised they wanted an in-house painter, and why not? I'd rather apply and get a no than not apply and never know. And they just hired me, and it was awesome. And a couple of months later, I was here. The rest is history, really.
There we go. So that is the origin story of Lee. And Josh, what happened to the beard? When you shaved it off, was it at least donated to some poor beardless men somewhere? The beard.
It's in a pillow, right?
Yeah, it's part of a pillow now. No, it's not actually. That'd be disgusting. It was time for something different. I found my skin was getting super dry, and I had been wearing the long beard like that for probably about 2.5 years. So it was time just to start fresh and grow it back out, because it's actually, I don't know, it's going to sound goofy, but it's a lot of fun growing a beard out. And it was a lot of fun to get to shave it down, because I went from the big full beard that I had during the filming of the Rangers movie to the long goatee. And then I was hoping to kind of grow the beard out and blend it into the goatee. It just wasn't going the way I wanted it to. So I figured, what the hey, let's have some fun. Shaved in some terrible friendly mutton chops. The Civil War general kind of look. That was super entertaining.
And proving to everybody you actually have a chin.
Indeed. And then went to the mustache. The super, super sweet mustache. I think Matthew and Steve are the two that it affected the most. There's some people that legitimately didn't seem to even notice. Like I remember talking to Dave, and we talked for like 2 minutes, and then he like cocked his head to the side and looked and figured out that, you know, something was different. So that was super funny. So yeah, you know what? It's just, you know, I hit points in my life where it just, you know, it's time for a change, time to do something different. I'm tired of waking myself up by rolling over into my beard. So yeah, just wanted to try something different. But I mean, it grows in quick enough, because even the kind of side growth that I had going on for the mutton chops, that was like 3 months of growth, and it was pretty long. So it grows back quick enough.
Impressive.
Alrighty. Ooh, this is a good one. WB Freak 54 Lee, would you ever do a who would win with Chris in a painting competition?
Yeah, I saw that one. I was like, yeah. Me and Chris are totally different. We're totally different type of painter.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're like the end result is on a pretty equal level for the most part. If I actually sit down and spend time on a model, but he's way better than me. I'm just gonna say it. He's way better than me with it all, like the color theory and all the technical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's just miles ahead. If you want something done fast, talk to me. Quick and dirty, just get it done, and it looks good. But if you want something for a painting competition, it's Chris. Right,
because there's a difference in, tabletop painting and
Like
decoration, showcase kind of painting. So yeah, that would be interesting, because two very different schools. Chris is technically more skilled, but Lee can get stuff done faster. And I go back to my Mechanicum Army is probably the best example of this. So when the Mechanicum Army had come in, it was before I was supposed to be filming a bat rep, so I had some time to actually work on stuff, which was cool. And I went to both of them and said, what do you think? Give me a scheme. And yours took, the one that Lee had said, took, maybe a minute and a half to explain. And Chris, as I was sitting in there, and after like half an hour, I'm like, I don't remember anything you've said.
Yeah.
Talking about all the different techniques. So, yeah, two different styles. Chris has, I think, a larger repertoire of technical skills. Lee paints tabletop stuff way faster than anybody I've ever seen. When you're motivated to, you're a very emotional painter.
Yeah, that's very true. If I don't feel like painting, I can't force myself to do it. That actually kind of made me nervous when I applied for the job, because I was going to be, okay, I have to paint 9 to 5. Okay, because I have to motivate myself, but it worked out great. But yeah, me and Chris, it's two sides of the same coin, really, because he's really takes his time, he's really methodical, and I just throw paint at stuff and see what happens. It's what I do. I mean, like your Kurz model, that took me 6 hours.
Yep.
I mean, same with my stand-in Sanguinius model.
Right. All right, let's jump over to the next person asking questions. Mini Terrain, hey Adam, what's up? Lee, how many volcanoes are in Iceland?
I actually had to look this up. Now, for those of you who don't know, Iceland is a really, really small country. There's lakes in Canada that are bigger. I'm not kidding. I think it was 103,000 square kilometers. That's not a lot. It has 130 volcanoes.
That's at the time of filming, because we're assuming that, by the time this video goes up, there's like 2 or 3 more that have popped up.
But the thing is, it's basically all the same volcano, but with just holes poking up through the country all over the place, because it's a volcanic island. So, but yeah, 130. I had to look it up.
There you go. There's your little tidbit about Iceland for the day. Woodrow Wimpy, dear Lay, how many years of practicing did you spend in order to get as good at painting as you are?
Actual practice, 0. But I've been painting for, 26 years now? And I don't even show people my first stuff. It's awful. It's no.
Because, little known fact, Lee is actually over 200 years old.
Yeah. Everyone in Iceland is. Because we're trolls. Didn't you know? But yeah, basically 25 years is my standard time, but you could, if you practice, you can get good in a couple of years for sure.
All right, next we have Bilge Rat. Josh, do you find it annoying that everyone is asking Lee questions instead of you? Also, can you please tell Lee how cool he is? Okay, so let's look at this. I'm gonna give a real answer here. This is something that Lee's wanted to do for a while. So I'm getting to help one of my closest friends do something at work that he's wanted to do for a long time. So no, I'm not annoyed in the least bit. I was super excited to get the chance to do this with Lee. So yeah, not annoyed at all. I was super excited. I think what would have been the worst possible result for me doing this, because I had been trying to push Lee to do this for a little while. I think my worst possible result is if Lee didn't get more questions than me. I would have been personally quite upset at that. So no, not annoyed in the least bit, getting to hang out with one of my buddies and help him do something he wants to do. Can you please tell Lee how cool he is? Well, you're the only guy I know. Actually, no, I met your buddy. You're the second coolest Icelandic guy I've ever met.
Second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Theo seems like a cooler guy than you,
Yeah,
man.
he
Yeah.
is. He's my bestie. Hi, Theo.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Ooh, this might be good. Dan's J56. Lee, how stressful is your job? Do you work overtime sometimes, and how often do you get a chance to work on some personal favorite models?
My job really isn't that stressful because we get away with stuff. We do. It's a dream job. It's awesome. But I mean, I get deadlines and I crunch through. And if I need a day off, I just ask for a day off. So it's not stressful at all. What's the second part of the question?
I'm not sure because I dropped the question. No, it was how often do you get to work on like a
personal stuff?
No, it wasn't personal stuff. Like a model that you really personally want to paint.
Every now and then. I mean, I make time. It's if I don't have a super urgent project, I'll work on something of my own, or for one of my friends, because some people don't paint their own stuff. But yeah, it depends on my deadline.
Hey, shut up.
Took you a while, but yeah, no, it's not stressful, and I pretty much get to work on my own stuff because I'm working on my 30K Blood Angels now, and I'm getting pretty close to doing them all, so that's quite a lot of models. So yeah.
William Kaw. Lee, will you ever do some building videos for quick tips? Already kind of went over that one there. What do we have next? Joyful Suspenders. Josh, what gave you the idea to get the beard of an American Civil War general? It's been an ongoing joke. I think all the guys here have known me for about as long as I've had the long beard, except for Chris. Chris has seen me without the long beard before. So, like I said, it was time I wanted to do something kind of different. The Friendly Mutton Chops is the kind of style that it's so goofy looking in my opinion, but like funny goofy that like I wouldn't want to take the time to grow out to do that on purpose. So the fact that I could shave down to that and then shave down to something else, and hit the end goal, it was time to do something kind of funny. And like I said, everybody was used to me with a super long beard. So I wanted to try something that would throw everybody off in kind of a funny way. And I don't know, I'm entertained by mutton chops. I thought it'd be funny, and it's fairly simple to shave in, so.
Yeah. I wasn't surprised because you told me about it before you did it. Not like Steve and Matthew, who couldn't even look you in the face and talk to you. That was really funny.
Actually, my mom is the typical mother that always gives me a hard time about shaving my face. And so I texted her, hey Ma, I finally shaved the long beard off. And I got this super long text back, oh my God, I'm so happy you did this, send me a picture, And I sent her a picture, like a selfie picture of me with the mutton chops. And my mom is one that, she'll reply immediately all the time. I did not get a text back. She just didn't reply to me. So just wanted to try something different. Bunch of comments from Matthew in here. Remember, guys, if you want to get hold of Matthew, I mean, he might read these comments, but your best bet is probably still emailing him direct for stuff if you expect a reply. Next, we got XCOM Man. I hope that's your name because you like the game XCOM because it's awesome. At Lee, hi. Probably everyone is asking you for conversion tips tutorials, but I'd like to know if you would ever make tutorials for scratch building. I think that your Thunderhawk gunship looks awesome. I'd love to see how you build things like that. Also, can we get some some quick recommendations for the basics of how to scratch build, such as material recommendations, tools, eShops, other tutorials. So yeah, I guess for the scratch building folks, because we've already addressed, the talking about doing shows and stuff like that. But for those budding scratch builders or kit bashers out there, do you have any, advice?
Well, for materials, the stuff I use is called Plastruct, and their catalog's a bit weird, but once you figure it out, you can order like any kind of plastic card you want, and they're relatively cheap. As for making scratch build videos, it's the same as with conversion stuff, but scratch building is more scratch building. You start with a sheet of plastic and you have to cut it up, and so I don't know if I would do those. So, what was the rest of the question?
Is recommendations for materials, tools.
Keep your tools sharp. Sharp tools. Scissors. I watch videos of the guys doing stuff with plastic card and they keep cutting. Just use scissors. Just big old fabric scissors and cut through. And one tip for if you are scratch building, the thing I do, like with the Thunderhawk, people love the Thunderhawk, and I kind of get it. It's pretty cool. It came out well. The trick is, all the detail on the model is there because you put it on. And what I do the basic shape, and I just pile on detail until I'm sick of it. And then you probably have enough. So the more detail you put on it, the better it's going to look. Just like bolts and wires and panels and stuff. Just keep piling it on until, okay, I can't do this anymore. So then you look at it and it looks good.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a little bit of scratch build in the past, and it's the same basic concept of, like, I found when I scratch build, you have an idea of where you want to go, but you don't have the final step planned out. You plan to keep going until it looks right. Yeah. Because you can get so frustrated on some little detail that's not going to work out right, that in the end, who cares? You might do something different. So I'm going to jump to a question here because that one's going to be a doozy.
Yeah.
Dragon Ranger. At Josh. Just picked up the AOS starter set for the Stormcast and was wondering if you'd help me out with what to buy next for them. That's a pretty good question. I have tried to avoid the Stormcast to a certain degree due to the fact that, they got a lot of hate for a while. So I'm not up and up too much, and I'm terrible with the names of anything Stormcast related. Take a look and build up to a list. It comes down to, I don't think there's anything particularly bad in the Stormcast list. They're all really good, strong models. So start looking at some of the things that you want to use and want to paint. Their basic battle line troops are amazing, as well as things like the Retributors, Prosecutors, all that kind of stuff. Try to get a good mix. I think they have, because you get the starter set. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure what's in their Start Collecting, but I'm like 90% sure Start Collecting should be Square 2 for you. It's the $100 box that they put out, because the Start Collecting tends to have a lot of good fundamentals and actually some savings in there. Because, yeah, I would personally recommend staying away from the Uber models. Like, as amazing as something like a Star Drake is, I love that model, but don't buy that to bump up to 2,000 points, because your gaming friends are going to get sick and tired of playing against that. So try to get as many of the basic fundamentals covered first. So lots of prosecutors, that kind of stuff. Get a lot of guys on foot, some of the simple stuff, and then 1 or 2 of the cool extra units. But yeah, I think your start collecting would probably be a good place to go. Don't spend all your money on getting some of those amazing centerpiece models until you have a comfy little collection. You'll know when the time is right. You get almost that kind of feeling to it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna. Alta. This might run late. Alta Mentra at Josh and Lee. What new stuff from Games Workshop are you most excited for coming in December or in 2017? Get your rumor on. So Lee, do you want to start off? What are you most excited for?
40k 8th edition. That's it. I really don't like 7th edition anymore. It's too big. It's too bloated. And I don't pay attention to rumors. I just don't.
And all I do is pay attention to rumors.
Yeah.
I like reading. I don't know. There might be people that get upset about this. I feel like with the Warzone Fenris stuff, we're seeing the potential of the start of 40k end times. I think we're going to see 8th edition. I'm excited for the idea of 8th edition. I mean, there's cool, they're releasing, Magnus looks amazing. I'm more excited to see what comes after Magnus, because I don't believe for a second that they're going to release just 1 or 2 Primarchs. We're going to see a lot of really cool models coming up. They're doing phenomenal for that kind of stuff. So I'm excited for the stuff, all the hypotheticals, because, if we got Magnus showing up in Demon Prince form, that means probably we'll see the rest of the Demon Princes at some point. As far as rumors too, okay, I'm gonna talk about something, and this is what I've said repeatedly to different people, and I want to get your take on it. I totally agree. I find 7th edition 40k to be bloated. I'm not saying it's a bad system, but some of the fun gets taken away. Having to always double check FAQs and all that kind of stuff. So I think there's going to be more simplified. Now we see the new Games Workshop has a tendency to be, they're asking the community for feedback a lot more. Now, and they're listening to people, and that's evidenced by things like the General's Handbook. Age of Sigmar came about, in my opinion, because fantasy was bloated, it wasn't selling well enough, and it wasn't friendly to beginners. Because old grumblers like myself and Lee, Steve, the rest of them, regardless of our opinions, we're still going to spend money on gaming stuff. No matter what they do, we're going to see a pretty model and go, ooh, I want it. But they got to make the game more friendly to younger people coming in, because they're competing against a lot of different forms of entertainment right now. Now, if they were to pull the plug like they did on Fantasy and do a complete and total revamp of 40k, something dramatically different, that might not be the smartest choice. So my assumption is that they're going to put out something and look for feedback. Put something that feels like a 40k 8th edition simplified version and look for feedback on that and see what the community says about it and use that to conceptualize what 8th edition is going to look like. Do you think that makes sense with how they're going to kind of like playtest 8th edition almost?
Well, I remember when I started seeing rumors about Age of Sigmar. A lot of people, because I was back home in Iceland when this was happening, and there was a lot of people in the wargaming community in Iceland that thought it was a joke. They thought it was like a smokescreen. Mm-hmm. It was just like, yeah, here, this is what we're doing. Like, really, round bases, everyone. Here you go. And then they was just gonna go, bam, 9th edition. Haha, gotcha. But they didn't. So, kind of nervous, but Fantasy was kind of on the, mm-hmm. was basically just people weren't liking it. And like you said, for friendliness towards beginners, it's really hard to get someone into a game when you hand them a stack of boxes for $50 a piece and tell them, this is one of your units. I mean, no. You're not going to get into a game that way. But the whole 40k getting simplified, I really hope they do.
Here's what I think. Because I was trying to lead you into this. Here's what I think they're doing. because this doesn't get talked about a whole ton. Like I said, I think Games Workshop is going to do a test of sorts, and I think that test of the basic concepts of 8th edition is already out. I think that's already been released. It's already out. There's already people playing it. Battle for Vadros. Battle for Vadros is what I think is almost the prototype 8th edition starter. It's a simplified rule set using I think it was the Assault on Black Reach starter models. So you're getting a good little mix of stuff there, but it's got simplified Age of Sigmar-esque rules. I think basically that's their test for 8th edition is Battle for Vadros. They're going to look at feedback about Battle for Vadros from newer players and that kind of stuff, and they're going to use that to craft 8th edition. I think, we already have a general idea of where they're heading with 8th edition if you take a look at Battle for Vadros. I'm not saying Battle of Vadros is 8th edition. What I'm saying is I think that that's their test of the direction they want to take it, and they're going to take feedback from the community about Battle of Vadros and see what they say.
Might be. I never looked into it. I don't have time really to look into stuff. It's one of the downsides of my job. Painting is all I do. But I like reading rumors and stuff and seeing people talking about, ooh, I hope they're gonna do this, I hope they're gonna do that. And okay, we'll just see when it comes out. I know he's the exact opposite. He's just like, ooh, maybe they'll do this. Ooh, theory. It's like, no, give me facts. Don't give me theories.
So yeah, we're running out of time on that. There's other cool stuff, but I mean where they're going with some of the new amazing models that are coming out. The biggest one, and Games Workshop, don't you let me down. Chaos Legions supplement. This needs to be at the level of the 3.5 edition Chaos Codex.
Yeah, I agree.
If Games Workshop, you manage to pull off the same feeling that that was there with the 3.5 edition Chaos Codex. In my opinion, probably one of their best codexes they've ever written. Probably one of my favorites, even though I'm not really a hardcore Chaos player. I was back in that codex, and then 4th edition codex came out, and I stopped playing Chaos because they went away from the Legions and they went to the Renegade kind of feel. So Games Workshop, if you pull that off, shut up and take my money.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're all going to start playing Chaos. So hopefully, that's what... I play Chaos a little bit. Steve will end up playing with his Iron Warriors. If they bring back the proper Legion rules...
And I'll wipe the dust off my multiple Chaos armies and start playing again. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Because, there's people that are fans of it. The Renegades are boring. They are...
That makes sense.
They do, but not as the grand sense of things. You look at the Red Corsairs. Yeah, they're a big deal, but they are the thin blood weaklings that are nothing compared to the original Legions. So give me my Legion rules back. That's all the time we have right now for this video, guys. Click on the link below. It takes you to the Vault video. Lee and I are going to continue answering questions in there. If you're not a Vault member, click on it anyways. Gives you access to a 7-day free trial. You get to listen to the rest of us rambling on, as well as it gives you access to all the games in the Vault and a whack more content. Chris and Janine's painting tips and tricks. Everything we do in pairs, so twice as much content, guys. Check it out, because that's how we support ourselves here at MiniWarGaming, and that's how we're able to get paid to be able to bring you content. Keep in mind also that it is Quirk's turn next week, so comments in this video, folks, not the next video. Just say, hey, Beverly, here's my question. Okay, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, if you want to leave comments for Lee and I, or you got questions for us based upon what we're saying, don't leave them in here. Shoot us an email, either josh@miniwargaming.com or lee@miniwargaming.com, and we'll get back to you when we can. We're both kind of busy guys, or we like to pretend we are. Thanks so much for tuning in. Happy wargaming.